The Miami Heat may have gotten a major steal when they signed undrafted big man Vladislav Goldin to a two-way contract. Goldin was among the Heat standouts during NBA Summer League in Las Vegas, and now the team is hoping they can strike gold twice. The Heat made a roster move on Friday with the signing of Myron Gardner to a two-way contract, as per longtime NBA insider Chris Haynes. Myron Gardner's signing with the Heat on a two-way contract comes after he, too, had a strong performance in Vegas during NBA Summer League. With this signing, the Heat have one available two-way contract spot open, although the team does have a two-way qualifying offer out to Drew Smith, as per Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. Gardner played in only 2 games for the Heat in Vegas at a little over 24 minutes per game. But that was enough to impress the Heat front office, as he averaged 17.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2.0 assists, and 2.5 steals with splits of 44% shooting from the field, 66.7% shooting from the three-point line, and 100% shooting from the free throw line. He also played for the Heat during the California Classic and had impressive numbers there, averaging 9.0 points while shooting 61.5% from the field and 50% from the three-point line. Gardner joins the Heat after a couple of seasons playing in the G League. He went undrafted in the 2023 NBA Draft and later joined the Osceola Magic, the G League affiliate of the Orlando Magic. He's played the past 2 seasons for Osceola, appearing in a total of 97 games. He holds G League career averages of 7.8 points, 5.4 assists, and 1.3 steals with splits of 46.6% shooting from the field, 33.4% shooting from the three-point line, and 71.2% shooting from the free throw line. This upcoming season, Gardner will spend most of his time in the G League with the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the affiliate of the Heat. He will be limited to only 50 NBA games and will need to have his contract converted to a standard deal to be eligible for the playoffs. But in all likelihood, he plays out this season on a two-way deal as part of the Heat's developmental system. The Miami Heat have made some changes this offseason. Most notably, they traded Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love in a 3-way trade that landed them Norman Powell. Besides that, their only other notable move in free agency is re-signing Davion Mitchell. While they've been trying to strengthen their team for this upcoming season, the Washington Wizards have gone the opposite route. They traded Jordan Poole for C.J. McCollum and Kelly Olynyk, then traded Olynyk for Blake Wesley and Malachy Branham. They have since waived Wesley, Richaun Holmes, and Marcus Smart. It didn't take long for Smart to find another team. It was confirmed that once Smart cleared waivers, he would sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. Smart has had his history with the Heat, as he has faced them 3 times in the NBA playoffs, 2020, 2022, and 2023. As it turns out, the Heat were interested in Smart before the Wizards waived him. NBA insider Jake Fisher reported on Bleacher Report's live stream that the Heat and Wizards discussed a trade that would swap Smart for one of his former teammates. There were some talks between Miami and Washington about Marcus Smart, Fisher said. I think there's a framework being contemplated about Marcus Smart being traded for Terry Rozier at one point in time. Smart and Rozier were teammates on the Boston Celtics from 2015 to 2018. They were teammates when the Celtics faced the Wizards in the playoffs in 2017, who they beat in the second round, but weren't when they faced the Heat. Since parting as teammates, they have never faced each other in the postseason. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier's future has been a topic of conversation this offseason, as the Heat have made efforts to move on from him. But as of now, he remains with the team, and it appears that's partly because one trade scenario involving the Heat and Washington Wizards didn't come to fruition. There were some talks between Miami and Washington about Marcus Smart, NBA insider Jake Fisher said. I think there was a framework being contemplated about Marcus Smart being traded for Terry Rozier at one point in time. Instead of being traded, Smart was recently bought out by the Wizards, which led to him landing with the Los Angeles Lakers as a free agent. Smart's grit and intensity likely would have made him a good fit with the Heat, assuming the two sides would have been able to put aside their past battles from when the guard was a member of the Boston Celtics. Smart has earned 3 All-Defense nods and was the Defensive Player of the Year in the 2021-22 season. The veteran has offensive limitations, but is capable of making himself useful on that end of the floor. In his final 4 seasons with Boston, he averaged 12.4 points and 5.7 assists per game, even though his efficiency was shaky. The big question with Smart right now is whether he can stay healthy. Since his Celtics tenure ended, he hasn't appeared in more than 34 games in a season. He will look to change that with the Lakers, who are trying to contend in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, the Heat are still tied to Rozier, who is under contract for 1 more season. The 31-year-old just had a rough season in which he was almost unplayable at times, but it's possible that he'll bounce back in the 2025-26 campaign. Rozier averaged 10.6 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game last season while shooting 39.1% from the field and 29.5% from beyond the arc. In his final full season with the Charlotte Hornets, he averaged 21.1 points per game. To his credit, Rozier is said to be a very good teammate who hasn't caused any trouble in the Heat locker room despite his struggles. No matter where he goes from here, hopefully he can find his footing again. When it's all said and done, NBA legend LeBron James will probably continue his record 23rd season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Still, any signs of a potential departure leave room to entertain trade speculations. And with that said, there's been some buzz around James possibly splitting from Los Angeles with a focus on superstar Luka Doncic. Bleacher Report pitched the idea of James and his son, Bronny, heading to the Miami Heat in a reunion from their championship days. Heat receive LeBron James, Bronny James, Dalton Connect. Lakers receive Terry Rozier, Andrew Wiggins, Jamie Jaquez Jr., 2029 first-round pick, 2030 first-round pick swap, top 3 protected. The article wrote, even at 40 years old, James, incredibly, still ranks as a high-end primary option. In 2024-25, he was one of only 4 players to average 24 points and 8 assists. Having him as a conductor could quiet the worries about having Herro as a focal point and the questions about Adebayo's ability to expand his game. Those two could do what they do best, net shredding for Herro, rim rocking for Adebayo, while the cerebral superpowers of a James Spoelstra pairing squeeze every ounce of production possible out of this lineup. Miami would get an immediate upgrade in the scoring and facilitating departments, complementing the backcourt of Norman Powell and Tyler Herro. It could also give Dalton Connect a fresh start with the Heat after being labeled as an underwhelming prospect in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the Lakers would get a defensive upgrade with Andrew Wiggins and some solid bench pieces in Rozier and Jaquez Jr. It's a long shot with such a big name. But then again, when has that ever stopped fans and onlookers from creating these packages?